everyone. Welcome to another episode of Three People on a Couch. We've got Amanda, our special guest Sage Bennett today. We've got Steve and myself, Brian. On the camera, we have two people, but you can't see them, so
that's too bad.
Yeah. And so today, Sage Bennett is a director, a writer, photographer. Sage tells emotive stories that focus in on seemingly ordinary moments and people, giving them cinematic weight through a feminine lens.
I had someone write that.
Sounds really good.
Thanks.
Sage has worked, her work has been shown in festivals around the world, from Paris, London, Toronto, LA, Berlin, Boston, New York, and Chicago. Her work has recently been featured in the Shoot New Directors Showcase, Lady Gun, Free the Work, and Directors Library. Sage, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm ready for some sage advice.
Some sage advice. I have been told I'm wise.
We have a funny way how we met.
We do. You tell the story.
You got to add the details.
Okay, I'll add the details.
So we were on a mountain in Big Bear.
We were on a mountain. We just saw each other across the way on two mountains.
Excuse me. We were at an event on a mountain in Big Bear.
This is true.
And you were sitting down.
Wait, is this the searcher camp?
Searcher camp?
Surrender.
Oh, whatever.
Has anyone seen Billy?
Who went missing?
For 5 years.
The searcher camp.
We met during a tragedy.
I kind of like that. Should we start that?
That's a good idea.
No, but we can talk about that later. No, yes, the surrender camp, because you talked about that on the first episode, I believe.
Yeah.
We were lost.
Yeah, we were lost.
Metaphorically and physically.
And Sage had just spent way too much money at REI.
I did.
And she'd bought...
I didn't spend that much money.
No, it sounded like a lot. And she bought this pasta that you add water to.
That was like a $15 pasta.
In a bag.
It's yeah.
And I had... What did I have? I think I had peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, you didn't have much.
I didn't have much.
I shared...
I had bacon.
He had bacon.
But that was for breakfast. And
but that was for breakfast.
Sage, she gave me some of her pasta in a bag, and we started talking.
This is a really beautiful story.
Yeah.
What kind of pasta was it?
I think it was cheesy marinara pasta. Yeah, we can go into this in grave detail. It was chewy and soggy at the same time. Don't recommend.
I mean, who didn't you meet sharing a bag of pasta with?
Exactly.
True. It happens all the time.
That's
here.
On a mountain.
That's where I meet all my best friends.
Yeah. That's when you know.
That's when you know.
That's
You're like, do you want some soggy pasta out of a bag? They're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, wow, we should be friends.
Yeah.
It's like breaking bread. It's breaking pasta.
Breaking pasta.
Breaking bad.
It lasted a long time, that pasta.
You ate that for like 2 days.
I did. Well, so enough about pasta.
So I want to hear your story about LA, about the directing part, all of it. How did it all start?
I was born. No. How did it start? I mean, I don't even really live in LA. I don't feel I'm not an LA-er. But I started directing, like, me and my friends every summer would make a music video for the summer. And so we'd pick like a Miley Cyrus song and we'd get really all dressed up and do these very elaborate music videos that are hidden on YouTube and you can't find them now.
Oh,
But you don't find them. Don't look for them. But we were doing that. Here's a link below.
Subscribe. Don't look. Subscribe.
And then I went to college and I was like, gotta find something practical. Got to do something, pay the bills, because that you can't do filmmaking. So I went and I studied environmental studies. And then I was like, I don't know how practical, I don't know what to do with this. This is really important. I'm passionate and I want to save the planet. But also I'm terrible at science and I'm bored. And I want to make something and not just read books about things and write about it. I want to create. And so I started working as an editor at this film production company. And then I eventually made enough work that was decent enough and became a director. That's that. And then I've just been directing.
So this is why we have global warming.
This is why we have global warming, because
up.
I gave up and I was like, I'd rather.
You were close too.
I was so close to saving the planet, but I failed.
But you can direct a movie about it now.
Well, that's what I was thinking is like, oh, there's so many ways to kind of help. Because I was like, I want to do something with my life that feels like I'm contributing and like I have something to offer and I'm not just, sitting on this rock doing nothing. How can I be of value? And then, I mean, art, everyone tells you like, this is silly. You don't make money doing that. But then I was like, well, what if I'm really passionate about it? And I'm like so excited about this. And every day I wake up, I'm like, I want to make some art. I feel like that's a much better way to live. I mean, it's going okay. It's going all right. It's going pretty well. But you can make films about the planet. You can support companies that support the planet. There's a lot of ways to save.
So is your outlook on environmental science and natural living and saving the planet, does that cross over in your filmmaking? You're inspired by those themes at all?
Yeah, I am inspired by those things. I think I also kind of veered away from that a little bit, and then I've slowly been coming back. But even with the companies that I work with, you want to work with, and sometimes it's hard to figure out, okay, is this an ethical company? What are they supporting?
Right.
Are they single-handedly also killing the planet? Because the commercials that have money, that they are probably killing the planet.
It is organic, but it's like, oh, we use organic arsenic. Like that's like the what? That's like the workaround. It's like it is
true.
Organic, but what you're using is still crap.
This knife is organic. Ah!
Exactly. It's kind of like it's organic formaldehyde, organic phenylalanine. You've obviously maybe have heard the same thing, the term greenwash, where companies, they're a little bit shady about how they pass off their ingredients.
I mean, it's just to get you to buy something, because if I identify as someone that cares about the environment and I go into a store and this brand says they care about the environment too, I'm like, well, we can care about it together and I will buy this and it's cute. And then, you don't actually know where it comes from or anything about it. And they could be, I mean, there's some things that have to be approved, but a lot of it is just
I've seen this a lot with meat. So it'd be like, free from all these stuff, and then at the bottom it says U.S. regulation, all meats have to be free from this. I'm like, wait a minute, so you're not doing anything special. If you went to the dollar store and got the same meat, it would also be free from this.
Or it's like throwing gluten-free on everything. These are gluten-free. It's like, these are sneakers. Like, I wouldn't expect it. Or Subway.
This water is gluten-free.
It's vegan.
You're like,
Subway has posters like, our meat does not have antibiotics. It's like, how low is the bar? Like, we're supposed to be congratulating you for not putting outside things inside the food.
And it's not actually made from meat. You're like, wait, what?
Exactly.
This is rat. This is rat beef.
Speaking of rat beef, you went hiking for a while.
Me?
Yeah.
Did you fight a rat or you ate a rat?
I don't know how this connects, but I am curious.
Did you go hiking for
pasta with some rat beef ravioli?
Wait, didn't I go hiking?
Yeah, did you do a big epic trip for like 10 days?
When? Did I?
No. I could have sworn.
I've gone on big hiking trips before.
Like 6 months ago. Like a 12.
Did I go on a big hiking trip?
2-week check?
No? I guess I took a gap year. This is a topic. Gap years, kids.
Big in Europe, right?
Big in Europe. Did you take a gap year?
Definitely.
You did?
Yes.
Amazing. Wow.
It's called being an actor.
We're on gap. Perpetual gap year.
Yeah, we're taking a gap life.
Yeah, but like in Europe, it's almost encouraged, because otherwise you don't know like what kind of job you want, and you can still get job even if you don't have a bachelor's. It's totally fine. So we really encourage people to go out on gap years, want to travel a little bit.
What would you call you in America? Is that a gap year?
What?
Like you here.
Me here. I don't know. I would call it.
What do we call that?
I would call it a life crisis.
Oh.
More a life crisis than a gap year.
I call it a gap employee. That's what she has to work now. Folding those t-shirts.
No, so I mean, yeah, gap year. So you took a gap year too?
So I took a gap year, and I think that's what you're referring to, because I backpacked, like backpacked as in just took a backpack and traveled around Europe and then Nepal and Thailand and New Zealand. But I also lived in like I actually backpacked and went on backpacking trips as well. Except I broke my foot in New Zealand right before the big one, and then I was stuck in New Zealand for a while, and I didn't think my foot was broken, and the guy said it wasn't broken, but he was also the town everything. He was like the town doctor, the town ambulance, the town like he was like, this is the guy. You're like, this guy, like, oh, this guy.
Or to the Blockbuster.
Yeah, he's like, what else do you need? Oh, the police? Yes, hello.
And he had an OnlyFans.
And he was hot. I do think he was cute. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So that kind of, I broke my foot right before then. And
how long were you doing this traveling around?
That was
Europe?
about a year. Oh, yeah, a year.
You spent a year traveling.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was by the end. I was so done. Because I had my foot was broken, and so we were in New Zealand, and I was doing manual labor, so woofing, where you work for free room and board, but I couldn't do anything because my foot was broken. And so I just cracked nuts. Like I literally cracked nuts into a bowl all day long for hours. And I was like, I'm done. Can I leave? Like I need to get out of here. So I did that, and that's kind of how it ended.
I was so close to woofing in Japan. Sounds weird. Sounds like
woofing. Yeah, it's a funny name.
Working on a farm.
Yeah.
And, harvesting bamboo and then selling snacks at a farmer's market in Japan.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
No.
So my buddy's like, hey, you want to go ride motorbikes in Vietnam? And I was like,
yeah, it always sounds so exciting. Like I went to go work on a cheese farm when I was 18 because I'd always lived in the city, and I was like, I'm going to go work on a cheese farm, see what it's like. And it was terrible. Yeah. I was like, I hate this. No wonder. I mean, it was
like churning cream.
No, I wasn't churning. It was like
a churn of events.
Yeah, cheese farm.
It was a cheese. It was like a small.
It does sound kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, shit, should I be doing that?
I mean, it was like let me experience something new, and we would take the goats on walks, and I mean, we took all the sheep from the pasture, and it was their time to, be milked, and then when they got transferred, they just were diarrheaing all over you while you're like milking them because the grass is different. And so I mean, I really don't know much about cheese farms, so I don't want to talk to them.
Spoiler.
Were the goats lactose intolerant? Why were they?
No, the different kind of grass, so they're up in this pasture, and then you take them down and you feed them different food, and it makes them sick, and then they poop on you.
Do you have to poop in the milk?
No, but they.
I
mean,
slide.
I don't.
Poop in the milk.
Do you have to poop in the
We
milk?
got the
Is there
poop
poop in the milk?
Where was this cheese farm?
It was in Wisconsin.
Ralph's.
Where the cheese capital of America.
I see. I mean,
would you do that?
I'm intrigued, dude. I'm intrigued.
Do you want to do that? Should we bring the
Maybe
podcast to the farm?
It's a
Maybe
little
that's
town
my
called
purpose.
Diarrhea, Wisconsin.
Yeah. So what is your purpose? I feel like we were talking about before this, feeling like we don't know what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah.
So tell me more
We just discovered
about
it.
what you don't. Cheese farming.
Obviously now I'm into this cheese farming idea. But no, I actually don't know. So I'm just going to try out stuff until I figure it out.
Have
That's
you thought about
fair.
trying out a podcast?
I don't know.
You could be good at it.
Maybe.
She's got a good look, a good voice.
I'll think about
Is
it.
there-
great
but-
hair.
Is there still a lot of woofing in United States, or is it more of a Asia overseas?
No, there's a lot in the United States, I think.
Really?
Yeah. There.
Dude.
It's kind of.
They're called internships.
It really does. You're like, I'm not getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's quite a few in the United States, and I feel like mostly in Europe though is where.
But do they work you like a dog?
Yeah,
Or
you
like a
worked.
goat?
I guess it depends. It depends on where you go, because some places are really. I mean, it's like just so dependent on who it is. So some places are like, you wash dishes for an hour and then you can do whatever you want, and you're like, okay. And then some places are like, what were you doing? I remember I worked at this one place in New Zealand, and I was with my boyfriend at the time, and we went for a run. And we came back, and the woman was like, I can't believe you just went for a run. Like, you're supposed to be watching the kids. I was like, I didn't realize we were working all day nonstop. I thought it was like, usually it's like 4 or 5 hours a day, and then you get a break and you just get to relax. And she was like, I cannot believe you just left us. I was like, aren't these your kids? Like, I don't.
Weren't they there with them?
You're with them.
Yeah,
like, I don't
what?
know what I'm supposed to be
That's
doing.
crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, but those were all really, a lot of it was torture and a lot of it was really fun. It was like a lot of life experiences all at once. So
Did you use that? There's a website that I used. I forgot the name of
Goat
it though.
Finder.
It's for finding wolfing stuff.
Yeah, it's woof.com.
Is that it?
Yeah.
There's another one though.
Worldwide Organization of Organic Farming or something.
There's that, but there's another one which includes like all sort of experiences.
Help X. Is that it?
No. But keep going.
What's it called? Like, there's some exchange something. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot because
Yeah.
when I lived in I was in Kyoto for 2 weeks and I found one of these on this website. And I stayed at a bed and breakfast. And we like cleaned the bed and breakfast for a few hours. And that was only like 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
And then we could just go explore Kyoto.
Yeah, I mean,
day.
it's a good idea.
It's great
especially when you're young and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, and then eventually you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, what's
this
going on
feels
here?
like a little
Yeah.
sketchy.
But when you're young and you have no plan, and like one of my favorite things about doing it is it gives you these experiences that you otherwise wouldn't have. 'Cause
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like I'm in whatever Kyoto or you name the country. Let's go to the museum. Let's go to
Yeah.
this famous building. Take a picture. Let's go get drunk and listen to American music. It's like the
Yeah.
same sort of thing. But when you go have these little experiences, you get to see a different side of the place. Which is
I
really
remember when I was a kid, I really wanted to go and like volunteer
Nice.
with like wild animals in Africa, but I don't think you really do much, you know, because you kind of had to pay for going, and it was like the sketchy.
I mean, that's a whole
AF, you know?
conversation, like
Yeah.
voluntourism.
Yeah,
Where basically
exactly.
think you're helping, but you're not helping and you're actually hurting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. But I remember I really wanted to go. It was like with the lions.
But you
and
can
the
find
little
legit ones as
kittens.
well. Ellen has one, I think, doesn't she?
Ellen DeGeneres?
She has
Not
like
that I know her.
she,
She doesn't
she has
seem
like
legit.
a,
No,
at
good
all.
for Ellen. She was on last week on the show.
she has like a. I think she is it. No, it's not chimps. It's some kind of animal. She has a wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
think it's chimps.
I think it's
I think
chimps.
it is chimps.
Yeah, she's
Ellen?
You
passionate
should
about
go.
chimps.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Does she care about chimps?
Yeah,
she
she
so
loves
much,
chimps.
She loves them.
Dude, I had no clue. I didn't
Not
know.
so much her employees,
Now
but
you
when it comes to
know.
chimps.
She was caught berating the chimp.
Ooh.
no. It's true.
I don't know. I can't confirm. Wasn't there.
I wasn't there either. We'll edit that out.
You know what's funny? One time, Joey and I were in traffic and we were driving. I looked to the right, and Ellen was actually in a like Maserati right next to us. And it was one of those
Really?
things. They looked right over, and I just like locked eyes with her. I was like, "How does she have a chimp in her passenger seat? This shouldn't be legal."
Wait, what?
But yeah, it was her, and we actually followed her back. We just like
And then
That's
we
not
followed
creepy.
her.
You
Dude, I
followed
would
her
do.
back.
I would do that.
just a little bit, a few blocks. And,
yeah,
we
and
eventually
to her
gave
house.
up when we hit the first level of security. Yeah, that's
So what is like being a celebrity? So they followed me, but
Yeah,
just for
so
a few
some guy at
blocks.
the
Just for a
podcast
few.
just followed me home.
she's used to it.
No,
This
but
is why it's 3 people on a couch and not 3 people in a nice establishment.
but,
Soon.
but I mean, me and my friends, we used to take like the car and go to celebrities' house, just drive around them up in Bel Air.
Yeah.
You've done that?
In
How
high
do you,
school.
how do you find their addresses?
Oh, I have my ways.
You just Google it?
Oh.
I mean, with the internet, I feel like
also,
most
if
people's
If you know
houses
someone
are
that
online.
has access to like Coldwell Banker or a real estate registry, you'd probably see some of those too.
I think a lot of it is like friends of friends of friends, you know, and also like, and this is like super creepy, but
Oh, God.
if you Google, you know, like some celebrities might like when they buy something that's really expensive, it's usually in the news.
Yeah.
So you can
it's
kind of
true.
see the
That's
house.
true.
And if you're like, so I was just thinking about like how stalkers easily can find you if you become like a famous person.
Google
Oh,
Maps.
Because,
yeah.
because you like have the photos of the place, and then they said like, yeah, the previous owner was this famous person, and then you Google their names, you know, and it's just like a big ass rabbit hole, and then you kind of get to it. But mostly
Yeah.
for me, I haven't really done too many Google searches about celebrity houses.
Oh,
just
you haven't
been
done too much
friends.
stalking yet?
No, I haven't
Yeah,
done
that's
too
good.
much
Stalking
stalking.
is fun.
Yeah.
I will say.
But what I've done, I think it's more
Right.
Well,
Well,
literally,
stalker.
think of the
No.
Hollywood star tours. They're literally
Stalking.
celebrities, and it's a whole business.
like-
That's where so and so.
It is kind of
Yeah.
weird when you think
Yeah.
about
creepy.
it.
It shouldn't even be legal.
No, it's so creepy. Well, it's just creepy. I mean, our whole obsession with celebrities in general. Like, whenever if you see a celebrity in real life, you're like, oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they're just a person. They poop too. Like, it's not.
What?
Yeah.
What do
You
they
can-
do? They poop?
They get milk.
they-
They have
they
diarrhea.
poop
just
too.
like us.
What?
Did they
What?
get milk?
No.
Yeah.
What?
They get milked?
But
I don't know
mean,
if they
I think
get
the
milked.
celebrity culture is going down, and it's going to be more influencer culture in the
That's
future.
true.
Because we're
That
getting
is true,
so
which is weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like someone could spend their whole life building like an acting career or some sort of creative career, And then like someone could just post a weird video like
Yeah.
I'm an island boy.
know-
And like they're like massive.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because fame is getting so diluted now. Before, when you wanted to make some kind of content, movie, TV, music, you needed access to the resources and the equipment and
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
You know how to use it, but now everyone has that in their pocket.
I kind of think
Yeah.
it's better in a sense too, though, because now everyone has it in their pocket. Before it was more exclusive. You had to know people. You had to like.
Exactly.
But now anyone.
It's a good thing for
It's good
for
and it's bad,
creativity,
I
but
think.
Mm-hmm.
and
There's
it's
goods and bads to it. It's like photography's been destroyed in a sense. It's like hard to be a photographer nowadays.
Well, everyone's a photographer.
Everyone's
it
exactly.
seems,
It's
yeah.
so hard to be like
everyone's
oh,
a
pay me.
model, everyone's a
Yeah.
photographer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you
I'm-
have like TikTok and all these companies. I mean, it's great for some of these people, but they're making full livings off of it now.
But the thing
Mhm.
is also like I'm thinking about the celebrity aspect. Like think about the influencers that sharing a lot of their lives, and that's kind of their niche. Like
Mhm.
vlogging with their fans, and they're talking, and they go live. It's very like, intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking about the stalkers, like the crazy stalkers.
Yeah.
Like not the ones who are like, oh, I drove by this house. I mean,
Like
like,
you.
like me. I'm an okay stalker.
You're an A-list stalker. is what
I'm
you
an
know.
okay stalker, but I mean like the creepy ones, like the ones that might kill you. And I'm just thinking that if you're like a 14-year-old girl that did it through TikTok or whatever, like I think it's easier for those stalkers or those people to just find you there.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
sure.
if you have like a big acting career, maybe you have like a management that are trying to help you out with like the security measurements. But if you don't have that security net, it must be so hard.
Yeah, it's definitely a trade-off. And I think if you're someone like a Kardashian, where the visibility and being public and being seen is what is the lifeblood of your whole career and fame, it's you kind of take the good with the bad. You're creating that. But if you're someone like Jen Aniston, who just wants to act in things and is still kind of being like stalked, that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But
You have her
also,
address?
I think you found your
Do you know her
purpose.
address?
what?
Do you know
I'll
her
give it to you
address?
after. But no, but I mean, she like the Kardashians, they can't have much of a life. Like
But they're
they can't
cool
go
with
out.
that. I mean, they've had a reality show. that
I
followed
mean,
them
they can't have
around.
much of a life, but they can take a private plane to a private island
Yeah, the
and
thing
have,
is,
you
they've
know.
made
yeah,
so much
their
money.
public
True.
life is very state. It's not that private. You know what I mean? Like they've had reality shows for the last 15 years. I think they just ended it.
Yeah, but they're starting another one
Are they?
on Hulu.
Yeah, they've
No, so they
Yeah.
ended it to start. What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Then you had Caitlyn Jenner had her own thing, and then when she transitioned, and then I think the Sun maybe had one, and then Chloe had her own.
They've all had shows. I think
They built.
they're basically
billionaires.
They're
from
the
this,
most famous
so-
people on
True.
social media. They've basically become like the royalty of social media.
Yeah.
They have
And everyone looks like them too. It kind of
Exactly.
freaks
Yeah.
me out.
It's weird.
Like the amount of people that have like a big butt and like skinny waist and have the makeup done and like the hair done. It's
Yeah.
like the amount of power they have is a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's kind of starting to change though, because beauty trends are always evolving, and when girls are getting like huge butts and contouring their bodies in unnatural ways, and then that trend passes, not everyone can afford to go back to a surgeon or be able to take time off from work, because these, I'm assuming, like it's been a few years since I got my butt lift, but no, it's
It looks great.
thank you.
It's awesome.
I'm assuming it takes time to recover from these surgeries, and these girls that are stuck with these huge asses now. That's why I want to
I
raise
don't.
money
But
for
it's
that.
still in though. I don't know if that's like.
I mean, I think trends of women's bodies is like a whole thing.
Yeah,
like
I
that
don't-
is
Oh, yeah.
kind of messed up. Just like, oh, now your body is hot, your body's not,
Right.
and now like
Exactly.
now you need to get this filler and this thing.
I
and-
was watching a Vice, one of those Vice things they do,
Yeah.
and they're talking about Brazil. And so here, like guys will get like, well, I guess in LA they'll get the Botox and stuff, but in
Mhm.
Brazil the guys will get butt lifts and get like sort of an ab surgeries
That's
and
sketchy.
yeah, like there's all it's like super high demand there, like at the same level as females. And I was like, that's so interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's pretty wild. I just
Yeah.
watched this whole thing on the Red Table Talk about Brazilian butt lifts, and they were talking about how dangerous the procedures
Yeah,
are.
I was just about to
And
say
people
that.
go to another country to get it done because a lot of the times people die. Like
Mm.
people risk their lives to have a bigger butt, and that really makes me sad. I mean,
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
it's
imagine
like-
like you die and then you're like you're in the other place after you die and like, oh my god, like what happened to you? I was like, I was getting a butt lift.
Yeah, it's
no.
Do you
dark.
think it's kind of like a form of internalized misogyny, whereas girls think that guys want that now? So
I think it's so specific to the person, and you can't really like make huge generalizations, because I think for some it's like out of insecurity, and you're just like, I want to be attractive. I don't feel attractive. I'm going to get this thing done, rather than like look inward and think, okay, how can I, love myself from the inside out? It's like, well, what if I just get some lip fillers and then all of a sudden I feel pretty? And sometimes it does. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like sometimes it does make a difference, and they're like, yeah, now I feel beautiful, and like, okay, that's fine. Like, live your life if that's what makes you happy. But also I do think that there's a lot of misogyny, internalized sexism, and just feeling not good enough, and feeling like the amount of money and time and energy that women and people just spend trying to alter our bodies is like, it's a huge billion-dollar business. So if we one day we're like, actually, I don't feel like getting a wax. I like my hairy bush. Like, I'm just gonna leave it. The whole wax, and everyone decided that, then all the bikini waxers would go out of business.
I guarantee it'll happen soon.
For me, that's unfortunate. I've laced it away, my hair, my legs.
A lot of people have
my pussy and my armpits.
Oh, man.
I mean, you're done. You're like, yeah. I mean,
I'm
I think
smooth as a fucking seal.
Yeah.
And
Forever.
Don't slip off the cut.
What if I might wake up tomorrow and be like, oh no, I regret my decision. So that sucks. But like for now, I'm also thinking about this beauty standards, because right now, since before, like, I'm on this strong ass medication, Accutane, for acne, because I have severe acne right now. And like, that is something that I really feel will really elevate my life and my confidence when I get away from that. So, because as of now, I feel like I have to, obviously I don't have to do anything, but right now I feel like I have to put on like this wall of makeup, like foundation, just to cover it up, so I have like some kind of a same tone in my face. And when I have that, it like starts a process. It's like, well, now I can see that you have makeup on, so now you kind of have to continue, because otherwise it looks like you just like put on some foundation and then you look weird. So then I have to do my eyebrows, and then I have to do my lashes, and then I end up looking like this. I mean, I can look however I want.
I mean, you look amazing.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like, but the day when this is over in 6 months, and I'm just gonna be able
Your
to
Accutane?
Yeah.
I was like,
what are we talking about?
When sexism is over.
When sexism is over in 6 months.
It's got about 6 more months left, and then we're done.
Then we're done.
They're not
We're
renewing.
free.
They don't want to pay anymore.
They don't want to
They're
renew the subscription.
About
No,
6 months.
I'm
Amanda's got a big plan to
medication.
take this down.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 6 months. So when that is done, I'm just gonna take off all my makeup and walk without makeup, and that's gonna be, I already look forward to it. So I think that those kind of things, fine, but it's hard to draw the line. But I think that to do a Brazilian butt lift wouldn't, I wouldn't care, because of the acne. Like, if I could choose between getting rid of my acne or a butt lift, I would choose, getting rid of the acne every day, because it's such a, I don't know why it's so vulnerable to me, but maybe it's society's
I think the face
pressure,
is the most
but
sensitive thing. Like, we're not seeing your bare ass cheeks
no.
on this episode, at least. So it's just
Not
Check
right
out our
now.
OnlyFans. No. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely get that. I feel like just, it's feeling beautiful and worthy is a whole thing.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
a daily practice.
Definitely, especially if you live in LA.
I am beautiful.
I am
Affirmations.
pretty. I love myself. I smell a little good.
My rent
Funny.
isn't that expensive.
Affirmations.
Affirmation musicals.
I think we're going to see like even more surgery on the horizon for people, because young kids are growing up and just seeing that it's so pervasive and so easy to
I think
do
there's
now.
2 problems too. And we're still gonna keep talking about this. Is one is a lot of these social media influencers promoting a lot of this stuff through their own plastic
And
surgeons.
filters. Like,
Yeah, but the filters.
I was just listening to I don't know where, but they're talking about, I think TikTok automatically is adding filters to everyone.
oh, wow.
It's a small degree of a filter. So it's making everyone like look in whatever that's considered to be more beautiful, but everyone, no matter who you are, it's like a very small amount. But now other platforms know this is going on, and now they feel like they don't look as good. The video's not looking as sharp. So now they want to now add it to the automatically.
Slippery slope.
Very slippery slope.
It's kind of, where does the human end in this new image or whatever it is?
Well, Steven? I'm an android.
I mean, this is
3 androids on the couch.
this is the tiptoe.
I am a robot woman.
This is the tiptoe into having these virtual avatars, where now it's like, Brian and I, our avatars are gonna hang out for the night, and where does
That's literally what Mark Zuckerberg's doing with Metaverse.
Yeah, so it's becoming that. So when we're seeing these filters and they're going on everything, that's the first few steps to condition us to accept our image being more virtual.
I have a question, sort of switching topics. How do you
Listen.
feel? So there's a new movie coming out with what's his name? What's the guy? Rebel Without a Cause. Oh my God, I forget his name. Rebel Without a Cause. James.
Jim Morrison.
No. The Doors.
No, this is something.
No,
similar
what's
to
the,
that.
you know what I'm talking about?
James
Dean.
James Dean.
So the new James
Thank
Dean
you.
is going to be starring in a new movie coming out.
Okay.
So his family had sold the rights to his likeness years ago for a lot of money to a studio, and they use this new technology where they're going to CGI him completely in the movie. So he's starring in it in the movie. His voice is his voice. But they take what's from his, what was left that he did, and then they were able to reprogram that in a software. So he's basically starting this new movie. Now, people are upset because he was very anti-war, and he's playing a soldier in the Vietnam War. And people are like, A, he's been dead for 60 years now. B, he was against the war in general, and now he's starring as a soldier. And is this ethical? What are your views on that?
Is that the question? Is this ethical?
No. What do you think about that?
That's pretty wild. I mean, I haven't really heard about that. So is a person, is there someone kind of in his place, or is it all CGI? Or?
It's all CGI. And this may sound crazy, but if you think of any of the Avengers movies, they've done this all with Samuel L. Jackson, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them are CGI, but you can't tell because it's so good. Tupac
Yeah.
at Coachella.
Yeah, wow. I would say, is that ethical? I don't know enough information, but I feel like just off my gut instinct would be no.
How would you feel about just using that in terms of using CGI'd actors?
CGI actors, I feel like isn't unethical.
Right. Just in terms of a creator, would you?
But I'd be open to it. I feel like there's so much I don't know about all this new technology, and it's kind of because what it feels like to get old. You're like, what is this? I don't understand.
What do
I'm
you mean
scared
you're
of
not
this.
real?
But I feel like there's a lot of really exciting things that can be done, and at the same time, I really love working with people. And I love, I'll write stuff in nature because I'm like, I want to just go hang out by the beach. Let's write something by the beach, or let's go write something so we can go to this place. And I feel like that's a whole nother world that I'm not even really in. I feel like a lot of my work's very naturalistic, and a lot of that's just because, that's what we can afford. But then I like those kinds of things. So.
I just feel like film and filmmaking is about showcasing the human experience. At least that's what I watch it for. So I don't really want to see CGI.
But then I feel like you can still see the human experience, like in an Avengers movie where it's superheroes.
Yeah, it depends
they're
on how
humanized.
it's used, but trying to bring a dead person back to life in that.
Yeah, it's also going to be a problem. We
Let him
can
go.
barely get roles as it is now.
Yeah,
It's so
what about the
competitive.
living people?
Yeah, I know see SAG is going to have new rules. There must be at least 80%.
It's like Marilyn Monroe is starring in the next 20, but you're like,
guarantee
she's
it.
dead.
Yeah, no,
What about me?
The Oscar goes to. It's 4 dead people won the Oscar again. But it's a real thing that's actually we're joking about it now, but that's going to be a real thing. I feel like SAG is literally going to have to add that in their contracts. There must be more living actors than dead actors in a production,
Yeah. There's this I think there's a book or something about how to get famous by dying, how to make your art famous by dying. Because all of a sudden people die and then everyone's like, oh, who were they? Oh my gosh, their art, they've passed away. It's like, well, why don't we do this when people are alive?
No one cares.
Why does someone have to die for us to care about their art? I don't know. I think it's a cool idea, and I feel like there's a lot there, but I'd like to be with the living.
Yeah, me too.
I'm enjoying you probably humans.
No, you'll never know.
Never know.
I just feel like it's It must be a budget type of thing. First,
Costs
and foremost.
more.
It costs more to do it.
Oh yeah, right now. Oh yeah,
Really?
to bring a CGI person in, yeah, because I think they have to have someone in a certain suit so they can get the
Yeah.
eye line right. So they have to hire an actor. What are they called? Stop motion actor? Is that the correct? No.
No, I don't.
No, that's stop motion's the
Stop
cartoon.
motion
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like Wallace and Gromit.
yeah, not that. I forgot what it's called.
They make Wallace and Gromit.
Because I was like, for like, what's it called? Avatar. I was watching them
Right.
behind the scenes of some of that, and like the actors, they're wearing this whole entire thing, and they're doing these insane scenes, and it's capturing their eye movements and putting them completely digitalized. So they're not actually even recording them. So they need some of those, I think, actors for eyeline, because otherwise the actors would be like, there he is. They'll all be looking in different directions and stuff. So they'll have someone dressed as that. So it's way more expensive right now.
For now, exactly.
But eventually you'll just hire some background actor, pay him $100 a day, and like just run some code, and there you go. There's your actor.
Yeah,
But I just like, where did this idea come from originally? Like, oh, we have all these resources. Let's put them to like work on how we can bring dead actors back to life.
I think it's a way to sort of connect with people that pass away. I mean, there's so many implications you can do with the technology. Like Coachella had Tupac. I remember like 10 years ago, they had a hologram CGI of Tupac, basically.
Yeah.
And it looked real. And that was like the big thing. But eventually it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be video chatting and having someone be here. Like everything you saw in Star Trek.
It's just tried and true. Like Tupac worked, let's do that again. This movie worked, let's revamp it. This song was good, let's sample it in another song. It's kind of like just a safe business move.
It's also like if someone's bringing you money, like James Dean, like if the first one, once it comes out, it's gonna be so much press about it. Is it ethical? Is it not? But that press is gonna get people like, I want to go see this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to see how the technology.
You want to see how it looks, and if it's good, people are gonna like it. Next thing you know, you have Marilyn Monroe popping.
But then is there gonna be like a red carpet where like the CGI?
100%. Yeah. I mean, what was it? I was listening.
I just don't need that. Like I'm good with like humans.
Yeah.
I just don't. Need,
I
don't need.
I
it.
really do
I don't
like
need it.
humans,
Me
but
too.
but then
They're
again,
great.
the actors on the TV they're not really real to you're watching them through your computer.
Right.
It's like, what does it matter if
It's true.
it's a real person?
Did you see the robots that write articles?
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're more algorithms, but they can write art, so they can analyze your style of writing
Oh,
and
I
see
have,
how you talk. Yeah, how you
I
talk.
have heard of this.
And
yeah.
they can write then their own thing. You give them a topic, and they can create a whole entire article based on your style.
I
And
have read
people
those.
can't tell the difference.
But I think I read something where it was like it took all this information and made this very nonsensical but sounding in a very specific style, but it said nothing. But it sounded exactly like
Trees
all these
are
articles.
green,
Yeah.
cheese, ha ha ha
Ha, ha, ha,
ha.
ha.
But it's crazy, like the technology gets so advanced.
It'd be nice to have that during like high school when you had to write essays.
I know, you're like, robot?
You failed again, Brian. Yes, it worked.
Did anyone ever like select all of the punctuation in an essay? If like you needed like the essay needs to be 10 pages long, you select all the punctuation and you make like the periods and commas like larger font.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
What?
No.
Amanda's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I've been there, done that.
I mean, I would change the font. Like Arial takes more space
It
than
does.
Times New Roman,
Yeah.
but not the punctuation. I
Did
wasn't
you have
that smart.
typing class when you were in school, like when you were a kid?
Home row keys.
No, I
Typing
feel
class?
like
We had typing
maybe.
class.
Wait,
Yeah.
can you explain what that is?
I had a SpongeBob video game.
Learning how to type. We had a
What?
we had a
I had a
Mario one.
Oh, Mario.
Yeah, we had to like you're typing and he'll move based on.
Oh wow.
You go to the home row keys and you have to just go up and.
We
up
were
and
just
down.
bribed with it if you like did everything correct. It was like greens, like a green screen with black, and you just had to type things out. You would say words, and we had to type it, and whoever was the fastest got like a Twinkie. Really? Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I had a SpongeBob game where they would be little races, and so you would type to get your character. You have Squidward, and you're typing to get him to win the race. I actually felt like I learned a lot on those. I thought it was really fun.
That was the foundation of your
That was the
creative
foundation
style.
of my
Got it.
life. Yes.
Got it.
Do they
Yeah.
still teach?
I doubt it.
Teach kids that?
I doubt they teach them that.
They just know it just from.
They're born with an
born.
iPad in their
Exactly.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it'd be more like.
Yeah, like thumb.
Yeah, do they even use keyboards anymore? I guess
Yeah.
laptops.
Yeah, in offices.
No, I mean kids though. Like when kids are in school, like I know they have tablets.
I
when
think
they're
they
seeing-
use keyboards
Yeah.
like on laptops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do anyone
Yeah.
have to play the recorder at school?
Yeah, I did have to play the recorder.
Husbands,
Wait, what is the recorder?
The recorder.
Like, well, I know what it is, but like,
I don't know what it is.
It's like a cheap flute or something.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
like a plastic.
Yeah,
It's like
okay,
a plastic flute.
It's
And
very
then there's
simple.
like the pre-quarter, which is like an even cheaper version. Then there's the flashlight. No, the recorder. I remember.
What?
The flashlight. I remember we all had to like learn hot cross
good.
buns and a few more on the recorder.
Hot cross buns. I don't
You
know.
remember?
Hot pocket.
Yeah. This is beautiful. Should we all sing our recorder songs and do our microphone kit?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm just sitting here. Right
Did
now.
you have any
You're
music
saying.
classes in Sweden?
Yes, but I didn't do whatever you did just now.
You guys
Make
had
it
all the
sound so
instruments.
bad.
Yeah, like we had
Like
I-
regular old
guitars and
instruments.
drums.
I think they were
and-
cutting corners in United
Yeah, they're
States.
trying to be cheap.
apparently.
Like, let's do a toilet paper roll with kazoo.
Yeah, I'm like a plastic
I
flute.
remember we get to
Yeah.
bring like a CD or cassette into music class. Like each kid get to do one every week, and one of the kids in the class, I think this is like 4th grade, he brought in Bare Naked Ladies, and the teacher like lost her shit. She's like, absolutely not, because like the name of the band is Bare Naked Ladies. So she put on Slipknot instead. No, he didn't get to listen to it ever.
Speaking of music, do you have any cool projects coming out that have nothing to do with music?
Cool projects. They all have to do with music.
Oh,
do
that was
music?
a good
They-
transition.
No, they don't all. I mean, they have everything I do has some
what
sort
are
of
you working on?
music in it.
What's coming
Is
out?
there
Tell
sound
us.
in that?
There's sound. I mean, I feel like I'm working on. This is my issue. Is sometimes I work on like way too many things at once. Well, at least personal projects, and then I'm like, okay, which one should I actually do? What should I actually put my energy towards? So, I mean, I've been doing some. I wish I had something really cool. to promote, but I've been doing. I mean, I just shot a commercial in Mexico for 1-800-Flowers. Super sexy name.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really, I mean, it was a really cool experience. I was like, my dream when I was little was to go, I mean, not when I was little, like 3 years ago, was to get hired.
You're 12. She's 12.
When I was 12, I am 12. People think I'm 12. Was to get hired to like someone to pay me to travel to another country to work. And so I had a moment where I was sitting eating like my sushi meal on my per diem, being like, I did it. I'm eating a sushi meal on a per diem on a job in another country. So I feel like, I mean, that was kind of like, okay, I did it. Okay, now what? You know? But that was really fun because we traveled all around looking for flower fields. It was like 1-800-Flowers. And so, I mean, I saw all of around Mexico City in a car just looking for like location scouting,
Oh, cool.
which was really fun. I mean, I have some things, but I actually don't know if I can talk about them. Ooh, I know.
That's
I
when
don't
you
want to get
know
in
it.
trouble.
Tell as much as you feel comfortable sharing.
I mean,
Don't
that's
have to
when
say
you know
names.
I
that you've
mean,
done it.
I mean, there's like some smaller things. Like this one company reached out to me recently called X for Y, and it's really cool.
The
it's
lube
for
company?
no.
Oh.
That's KY.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing lube. I'm porn.
Porn director.
I've thought about it. One time, a woman.
Really?
No, well,
I think it's a lot of money.
I think there's becoming more female porn directors.
I
'cause
think
maybe,
you
maybe
need
if-
female porn. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make like porn, but I would definitely make artistic piece, like not where the sex is the whole thing. I guess that's porn. Stories with sex, in some part of it. But I feel like there are, you definitely need more female directors because it's also like this is what men think is hot, and it's not. I don't like it. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, now I don't know if I want to talk about the other company I would it's called X for Y, and they take filmmakers' spec work. So like to get signed as a director, I made a bunch of specs pieces, which is basically like a fake ad. So you're like, okay, I really would love to work with Nike, so I'm gonna make this ad that pretending like I'm working for Nike. And then this company, and I have like a library of old spec pieces, and they take your spec work and they sell it to actual brands, and then you make money. And I was like, whoa, this is really great because I have so many of these. So I've been working with them. They're really, really lovely.
Have you sold any?
Well, no, I just started. I mean,
wow.
just in conversation. But that's a fun thing. If you're like an up and coming filmmaker, you can make money doing spec work, which is cool.
Do you ultimately want to do features or what format, or just does it not matter?
Yeah, I mean, I love lots of different kinds of formats, but definitely like longer form narrative pieces, whether that's like a full length film or some sort of series, or branded content too is really popular now, where it's like you get paid. I mean, there's like the terrible things on Netflix where it's like Addison Rae's movie and she has this water bottle in it, and that's like kind of, it's like Pizza Hut product placement in a way, is kind of like branded content. And I feel like we'll be seeing a lot more of those where it's like integrated into it,
Yeah.
rather than it being like just an advertisement and then the content, which I don't
think you
hate.
can assume now, watching anything, that if there's a product in there, it's in there for a reason,
Right.
and it's not by mistake that people are doing that either.
Ralph's sponsorship.
Well, you can get the finest goat diarrhea cheese.
Ralph's.
Diarrhea.
Yeah, and
call
we're all
that
gonna make
hummus.
something together. I just decided just now. You guys busy?
I
we
mean,
we
let's
have
do
a
it.
we have a comedy special
Let's do it. Tell us
Yes.
more.
We've actually shot a short film with
Brian.
Brian and Amanda. We picked up the camera one day.
We'll show you
Linked
after.
below.
It's-
Yeah, that okay.
The
this
first half
needs-
was okay.
Yeah, this needs explanation. What was that movie about? Because I'm not.
There's not
an
much
actress.
explanation.
It's about
Steve literally
No,
said,
yes.
"Hey, the weather's really great for filming. Let's make something." And I said, "Oh, I'm so tired."
I said lighting.
Whatever. And so we did it.
Lighting.
We didn't know if it was gonna be a comedy or a drama, and so we just started doing it. And then it was Amanda and I just started improvising a breakup scene, and we're breaking up, and then we started going with it. And
I love it.
But
I mean,
it's a couple that broke up that ran into each other at a mutual friend's
party.
bachelor party or wedding.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
unclear.
okay, it wasn't like.
You did great in it,
Yeah,
first of
but-
all. You did really great, except for there's a few moments. Like, I would be like,
Yes.
what do you mean we were dating for 2 years?
Yeah.
son?
I was like,
It's
oh.
not-
Yes.
okay. That wasn't the story I thought you were gonna tell. I mean, like,
What
the
story?
story is that we were walking towards the roof in this hallway outside, and I didn't know that Steve was filming, and then Brian just randomly started to like play a scene with me, and I thought we were just playing around, so I just played along with it, and then I realized,
I know.
and
It's like,
then
fuck you, Brian. Oh, she's really selling this. Oh, we were filming?
and then I realized that you are recording it. And
Always.
And
then
that's how your acting career started.
that's
You haven't
how
turned
my
back
acting-
since.
Yep. That's actually the only and my full acting career
Yeah.
right there. So
But it
we'll see
wasn't
where
bad.
goes.
It was. I'll say maybe it was bad, and we're just biased. But
Dude, it's
We don't
actually
know if it's good or not, but
it's not great, but
It's good.
the first half is bad. The second half, so our other cameraman who left, he wasn't listening, and so I was giving this whole backstory. I was like, you know, I was like,
yeah, I
went out-
fucked your best friend.
Yeah, basically, I was like, you fucked my best friend. Like, how can you do that? And like, he was my best friend. Like, there's so many people in LA, and I was like, you just use people. And I was like, where is he? Is he here? And she's like, stop, please don't make a scene. And I'm like, oh, there he is. I was like, hey, whatever, John, why don't you come over and say hi? And then he goes, hey, nice to meet you.
nice
he
to
wasn't
meet you. Shut the
listening.
fuck up.
So I'm like, nice to meet you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, what do you mean? This is my girlfriend. I was like, she was my girlfriend, and he did not
And then
know what's
during
going
that,
on.
Amanda
The
walked
drama.
off and kind of stopped paying attention to their scene. So then Amanda came back in, and Brian's like, is this why you're with him? Because this new Brad Pitt movie? Amanda's like, no.
Amanda wasn't paying attention.
Amanda.
What's
know.
that little
I
smile?
get
I
it.
just stop.
Yeah. What is your
I don't know.
idea? Let's hear your idea that you have for us.
Yeah, let's do something
My
together, all
idea
of us.
for, I mean, I just love making things with my friends and making things. I feel like the best things that I've made are things where I'm like, I don't know, like I mean, I have a plan, but also we, can move around and be funny and weird and whatever we want to be.
I
And
love that.
We have
Yes.
no constraints.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
some constraints are healthy, but it's like, let's just do something for fun.
Do you wear a bulletproof vest when you direct now after the whole Rust scenario?
Oh, that's a whole conversation.
That's a whole transition.
No. I don't work on. I haven't worked on anything with a gun or fake guns.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Funny you mentioned that. No.
Two people on the couch.
Okay, actually, it's time to wrap up.
No.
I know.
Do you want to
I know.
outro
Time
us?
to wrap up.
No.
Well, guys, that was a great episode. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Three People on a Couch. True to form, we have three people on a couch, one in a chair. Sage, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
For people who want to follow you, see your work, where can they follow you?
Sage Bennett on Instagram and sagebennett.com on the interwebs.
And if they want to stalk you?
Those places, that's where they can.
Where all the stalking goes down.
That's no more, no other stalking.
If you want to stuff your stocking, it is holiday season.
Thank you so much. We'll be back next week with another episode of Three People on a Couch.
Yes.
Bye.
Because that's what we do. We like find a pattern and we explore it and like connect and have fun with it.
Have you ever gotten hired by a company to do a firing, but it wasn't an exercise? They actually
They
just,
just
they just
brought
wanted to
me
push
in,
it on
Intervention.
We're in China. We're so far from like home. There's a virus breaking out. We're not working. It was just it was a very stressful and I would even say slightly traumatic experience. And
Seriously, it's like you have PTSD from filming a movie about going to war.